All right, so Nick, you can take it away with the questions.
Okay. Hopefully I'm back. I should be back. Hello? Hello? You guys hear me?
Okay, I can kind of hear you. You're kind of cutting in and out a
Cool.
little.
Okay.
But
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. Awkward time stopped working. But yeah, so I'll be facilitating this. Next questions to get through. So I'll go ahead and go through the first one. If anything else happens weird, funky with my kind of but the first question, and I'll just say the question, kind of give my own thoughts on it, and then do a line in the chat. But the first question is, so what is one of your favorite programs that you've done, and how did you grow as a leader through that program? So for me personally, even though it wasn't like something I was like fully my event, it would be our VPs really stepped up and did that. But we definitely, it almost rained the day of, and so we had to come up with like a last minute plan in case the event would go on. And really what I think what I really learned through that program is your e-board, for one, and just remember Murphy's Law, think organic, stay calm, and as a leader, you know, you should be the one. You should strive to be able to, and you know, helping everyone out, and trust your e-board too. But here you go. Go ahead and put your X's in the chat. Connor Clark, Safed.
So one of my favorite programs is we do this thing called Welcome Jacks, which is a week long of events for incoming freshmen and transfer students the first week before school starts. So it's kind of like their early move in, get to know the campus, get to know RHA, the different resources that we have at SFA and things like that. And I stayed here on campus over the summer. So I planned a lot of it by myself. Leading up to it until all of our execs came in a week before that. But I think just that, planning all of that and having every single day have to do something else and keep them entertained from 9 a.m. to like 6 p.m. and, you know, trying to find out the different resources and things that are on campus and who can come and talk and different activities and things like that. And working with our Welcome Jack leaders who are students who are already on campus who come and kind of give advice and things like that. So the program itself is just my favorite, and planning it was really awesome. But one of the things I took away from that experience was having to depend on my execs, especially with all of them being brand new. I was the only person returning on the exec board this year. So having to just lean on them and learning that it's okay to kind of take a step back and to obviously team build and work with them and, you know, trust them that they'll do what they need to do and different things like that. So it was just kind of a moment of realization that my execs are here for me and I'm here for them and things like that. So.
Okay, anyone? Okay, Tesla, Tyler Junior College.
Okay, so I guess, can y'all hear me okay? Yes, no, okay. So I guess maybe this isn't like, it's not one program, but it's like programs that we do every month. It's just like we call it, oh, my mind just went blank, but whatever. It tends to do that a lot. But we do these things every month, once a month every month. And typically on Thursdays, and it's just kind of like, oh, happy hour. And for between 2 and 4 every Thursday of the month, or Thursday every month, whatever. I'm getting so tired. It's for like, we have to make sure that everything is set in place like at any other program, but for it to only be 2 hours and we do it so often, it's one of my favorite things that we do, that I directly put my input in, because we have to make sure everybody stays entertained. And after a while, things can get boring. So we can't do the same thing every month, and we run out of ideas really easy. So I like to rely on my exec board and other people's, or just not my exec board themselves, but everybody in my RHA, because I like to hear different ideas. But like Valentine's is coming up, and last year we did chocolate covered strawberries with the big chocolate fountain in the housing building, and it was awesome. But this year, since the strawberries were so expensive, I don't know what we're gonna do, but I'm really excited to plan it out. But I don't know if I answered your question. I don't know, but I like that's my favorite, is our final chills and our happy hours every month.
Stephanie?
So mine isn't that special. It was my first program that I did for RHA. It was an Easter egg hunt, which we had to prepare at 6 a.m. in the morning, where we got our eggs filled with candy and laid it out at our mall area. And we just waited for people to start coming in after like 30 minutes of going around the giant plaza and putting the eggs in. And for me, it's kind of special because the e-board members and regular board members came together and showed that whenever we needed people, they would actually come. And since that was an event that I planned with a lot of help from the previous e-board, I really felt that I was one of them. I didn't felt too secluded, or I had to do this all by myself. And I learned that there was a lot of resources around us to make this event great. And that's about it.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go to the next question. So the next question is, what and methods do you use to advertise your programs, and how are they effective? And then also how your advertising methods helped increase attendance at a program. And, Tyler Junior College.
So just recently, advertising for not a program, but for our meeting, I put free really big in the middle of the page, because I had to do our marketing this time, because everyone's everywhere this first week. So yeah, I put free really big in the middle of the page to catch people's attention. And then, I put all the actual information around it. But I had a lot of people tell me, that the advertisement made them want to come. And a lot of people are coming to our meetings tomorrow. So I don't know if I answered your question again, but there you go.
You did, and I'm glad you're advertising. Molly from OSU.
Yeah, so we do posters a lot, but recently, so over the past couple of years, RHA has had all these different social media accounts, and every year it was changed people in charge of it, so we lost the passwords a lot, so whatever. So one thing we really focused on is getting a set Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook page that we can use, and we've been really trying to increase our followers and stuff on that, and so that has been a method we've been using to advertise our programs, and we have seen an increase in attendance. I don't know if it's just the change in programs, but hopefully maybe that method is contributing to that.
Cool. Totally a random side on passwords, you use a document and then putting it in a Dropbox, if you guys use Dropbox, so you guys don't forget them and can carry over.
Okay, Nick, you were for a little bit. Steven from Baylor, if you want to go.
So prior to this year, our advertising wasn't that good. So something we changed that helped a lot is we started advertising through the Office of Campus Living on campus. So we'll make a poster for our event. We send DLNL and then it gets distributed to all the residence halls and the residence hall directors. So we get a lot of word out for our programs that way. And that's something we found that really helps as far as spreading the word and getting people to come. And word of mouth is also really good as well.
Connor?
So this year we started to, I don't know what that sounded. Okay. So we created a Snapchat this semester, actually this year in the fall, and it has actually helped us a lot with just getting information out. People responding back to us, we put on our stories and also send it to everybody. But it's kind of cool because you also get to see who screenshots it. But we've noticed that has helped us a lot in getting some word out. But we also do tabling in our right in front of our student center during the most populated hours of the day. So we just sit out there we've done social media grabs where basically they follow us on social media and get a free t-shirt because we had a bunch so we need to get rid of. So we did stuff like that that really helped just getting followers. And then from there we use Snapchat and Facebook the most on posting things about programs and things. We've done Snapchat to be more of videos of programs and things to kind of just show this is something that's exciting that's happening, and maybe some people will come and do that. But yeah, we also have the same problem with all the passwords though, so y'all aren't alone.
Jasmine, UTD?
So something that we just started doing in the fall 2016 semester is at the beginning, before the semester starts, we we have our retreat or whatever and talk about what programs we want to put on. And so we use our on-campus printing center, and we make cards that we can hand out at Res Life events that kind of say when all of our meetings are and when all of our events are going to be. So the people actually have an idea of when and where our events are going to be, and they're going to have it all year. And it's a pretty nice card. It's on heavy cardstock, and it's that I think that helps. And we're working on getting a better social media presence as well to kind of get our name out there and get people more interested.
UNT?
So besides our social media, we use yard signs that get posted around campus. And so that anyone walking around campus can see if we're having an event, and usually it'll be posted on social media as well. And then it'll have our social media tags on it. And then another thing we really like to do for our bigger programs is do walking advertisements. So we'll print, get our shirts in if we're doing shirts for the event, get them in early, and then pass out a select number to people or to our members, and then have them walk around the week before the program. So people are oh, that's cool. What is that? And then they'll see it, and then they'll come or be more inclined to come to the program, especially if they know they're also getting shirts or the same shirt those people are wearing.
I like That's a cool idea. So next question is, that is everyone in the chat, right? Let me just double check. Yeah. The next question is, what advice would you give to someone planning a campus-wide event? And this is campus residents or off-campus students too, because we know some schools kind of define campus-wide event. Connor Clark, SFA.
I would say start early, plan ahead, and stay organized. Those are probably the three big things that we try and do. Just because when you're organized and you plan and you start early, you're able to either hit all of those mistakes that you might make or the little things that you might miss or something like that, but also just making sure that things are done on time and you're not scrambling before the event. So.
UL Lefant?
Oh, hey. So one of the big things that I think is important is letting your police officers that are on campus know what's going on ahead of time.
Jalen, I can't really hear you. Are you close to the mic or?
Am I loud enough now?
That's better.
Okay. One of the big things that I notice is letting the not UL, but the police department on campus know what's going on. Letting them know, let them like come to the event and make sure that nothing possibly could happen at the event. So yeah.
I want to hear from some of the people who haven't spoken yet. So if you haven't answered a question yet or given some advice, I'd like to hear from you.
Stephen OU.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah. I just wanted to say, kind of on the topic of what we were saying before, but like make sure that promotion is sort of like on the forefront of your mind, because it's really, really important when you're putting yourself out there for like a campus-wide event, that you make sure that people know about it.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So, the next question is, so what advice to bring a speaker to an event? Molly?
I would just say kind of using the resource already on. Using kind of like administrative connections and resources.
Molly, can you repeat that?
Sorry.
You're in and out.
I'll just type it. I'll just type it in the chat.
It sounds good now. If you want to try.
Okay. Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, just like utilizing kind of like your administrative connections and resources or like specific departments on campus. And then something really cool that OSU is doing this year, it's called a flip fair. And it wasn't set up by RTA, but RTA was asked to go, and it's before the career campus coming up. And it's an opportunity for student organizations to go and talk to employers for like, either like partnerships or sponsorships, or if you do want like a guest speaker to come talk about like leadership or something like that. So that was something I thought that was really cool that's going on. So you could have, bring a speaker to an event.
Steven from Baylor.
So my advice would be, if you're going to bring a speaker, make the speaker make sure they're talking about something that's useful for the students or engaging to the students. That way they can get something from it and not bored to tears, because sometimes we can get a speaker and talk something and it just doesn't engage the students at all, and so nobody really gets anything out of it. So that'd be my advice, kind of see what's going to be attractive, like, and something that's useful too. So like one of the speakers we had come a couple of weeks ago was talking about time management and how to start looking for internships and stuff, and how to use the offices we have on campus to do that. So things like that.
Yeah, and definitely use campus resources as well. That's definitely a good call. Anyone else on that one? Okay, not seeing any. So the next question, give an example of a time when you worked with another organization, and this can be your NRHH chapter, to put on an event collaboratively. What were the benefits of this, and what challenges did you encounter through the collaborative experience? Connor, SFA.
At the very first weekend before school starts, RHA partners up with the Student Activities Association and does a huge casino night, kind of after hours type event that is like 4 hours long. But we separate the student center. So our student center is 3 floors, but we only take up 2 for the event. So RHA normally has the first floor with all types of casino night games like blackjack and poker, and there's bingo and all that too. But and then the second floor, SAA kind of takes over and does different prizes like t-shirts, and they give out like giant 24 packs of drinks and stuff. And they normally have some sort of activity like laser tag or something big. They have a big budget. But I think the best thing about that event and collaborating with them is, one, just working with another organization and trying to figure out how they do things and how we do things, and, you know, merging the two together and see we have strengths in one area where they might not have, and vice versa. Also, just bringing in numbers. Their organization is huge. Our organization is pretty big too. So we reach different people on campus. So that also is a big thing, as well as it just being like the very first event on campus before in the fall. So that's also a plus. But one of the challenges is just collaboration. It can be a strength and a weakness too, just because you have to find timing to schedule meetings, or just them working on something and trusting that they will do and hold up their end, and obviously vice versa too. But I think a lot of it's just working with another organization is good and bad at the same time. I think just the challenges of making sure that they're doing what they're doing, and you know, that they provide the things that they say that they're going to provide, like their games and things like that. Because if they fall short, then it kind of looks weird. But
Thanks, Connor. Tesla, Tyler Junior College.
Okay, like Connor said about just one problem with collaborating with other organizations is just trying to like figure out if they're holding up their end of the deal, and if they are, if it's getting done on time and things. Every year we do the haunted house in one of our bigger residence halls, and we partner with almost every organization just to do like little things, like dental hygienists, like they have mean, it's candy everywhere. So dental hygienists, they love it. They like to set up their little table outside and give away toothbrushes to all the kids that come from the community. And like our Phi Theta Kappa and some of the honor students, they do like a mad science lab on like the 4th floor, and it's really fun. It's really cool. But I say one of the problems personally that I've experienced is getting in contact with the people before even starting. Like, I mean, it's really easy to send out email, and we do our hardest, we try our hardest to get in contact with all these people, and then we don't know if they're going to get back to us, and then if they're going to get back to us at a nice time, because we have to get things done in a certain order. It's huge process. And we have like a cakewalk in our in the auditorium in the residence halls, and we have to order those, and we need a team to set those up, and our RHA is really small, and us 10 people cannot put on this whole thing. We can, but we would have to be planning it since the first day of school. But that's, I don't know. So that's that.
Awesome, thanks. And I have a story about that too, but just because of unstable internet, I will put it in the minutes. But Molly Danielson, OSU.
So my laptop is currently dying. I'm trying to call it on my phone. But really quick, we just kind of a lot what Connor said, but then we did. Oh wait. There are over 10 participants. Okay, sorry. We paired with 8 other organizations. One of them. Now I'm connected through my phone.
Okay, sorry. Can y'all hear me? Yes. Okay, so sorry. So one of our events, we paired with 8 other organizations for our Explicit event, and kind of the downside of that is that we did all the work and they just kind of came to support it, whereas maybe one of the smaller ones where we've just done with NRHH or something, it's more of a joint effort. But it did help, like Connor said, a lot with bringing in other people in attendance, and then also just kind of exposing residents to other organizations or resources on campus. So that was just kind of some of the benefits and challenges that we had.
Okay. Yeah, so definitely challenges, but I think, never be afraid to partner with other organizations. So, okay. Else question? Any other X's? So we'll go and move on to the last question. And this one's kind of more general. Just what general programming tips and advice do you have? Connor, SFA?
Mine kind of pertains to a little bit more of the exec side, working with your team. Delegate. Don't be afraid to delegate. Sometimes it can be hard. It was hard for me in the beginning because I'm one of those people that's if I don't do it, then it's not going to be done right, which I've gotten better at, y'all. But delegating has been a lifesaver for me. But also just making sure that you do stay organized. I know that's so cliche, but it's the truth. If you're not organized, you're going to be so scatterbrained. And also don't put too much on yourself. You have a team, you have people with you that are there for you and are there to do a job. So don't be afraid to give them some tasks to lighten your load. But that's about it.
All very important things, and I totally agree. Tesla, Tyler Junior College?
Well, like Connor said, she said everything that I wanted to say, Okay. I'm trying to find some different words to use. So how about, like she said, delegate, but make sure everyone has a task. I'm trying to think now. And make sure that you stay calm and cool and collected, and don't overwhelm yourself, not just with tasks but just with thinking too. Like, you could be worrying about this program, and it's, even though like everything's going perfectly, you could overthink and overwhelm yourself, and that's not good to do. But ditto on everything Connor said. You did great. Go SFA.
Stephen, OU.
So I was just going to say sort of two things. One, go to as many programs as you can, so you get that experience of being sort of the consumer, if that makes sense, of like a program, and that always helps me, like gives me ideas and like tells me at least like what I want to be doing with programs, and then also like figure out how to incorporate that in the planning process, and always like slip into the perspective of someone who doesn't know anything about your organization but just found this program. So that's what I have.
Okay, Connor, you might have to take over from here because it dropped the connection and I didn't chat. All right.
So next was Stephen from Baylor.
One big piece of advice that I have is do not plan late. Make sure you have plenty of time to get everything you need done for your program. That way you have adequate time to make sure if something comes up that you weren't anticipating, you have to deal with it, and then you have time to advertise for it. Do not wait till the last minute because it's going to flop if you do. That's my suggestion.
All right. UL.
Can you hear me well? All right, cool. One thing that I'd have to say is constantly check the dates and make sure that no other programs are trying to book things on the same day as you. And if they do, maybe try to plan around it a little bit, because it's usually pretty bad when you have two events at the same time and people have to pick and choose what event they want to go to. Yeah.
That is absolutely fantastic. I think a lot of times we stay in our own little bubble of like RHA world or even just Res Life world, and we don't think that, students could be in other organizations or want to go to other events too. So you have to think what other events are going on at the same time. That's awesome. Jasmine, UTD.
So I guess this is specific to something.
You're kind of breaking up too, which is weird because you weren't earlier.
My computer is like spazzing out.
Do you want to type it into the chat and I'll add it to the minutes? Okay. Yeah, ditto to that. University Wi-Fi. I guess not everyone can be as good as LSU. It's okay though. I'm disaffiliated. I'm unbiased in saying that. Totally. Cool. Does anyone else have anything to say for just general programming tips and advice? Okay. I think, yeah, what all of you said was, exactly on point. Programming is hard. It's definitely a skill that we all have to learn. But through kind of like learning from kind of your mistakes, learning from the mistakes of others, learning from the successes of others, and learning from your successes, all of those things help to make your programs better. Learning how to appropriately advertise for programs so that people actually get out there, making sure that the types of events that you're putting on and the types of speakers that you're bringing are what students are actually wanting. Is really, really crucial. If you're not evaluating your programs, you should probably start. Keep track of your numbers at events. Do wrap-up reports after each event that you put on. So that way, if, the next year's exec board does the same program, they can refer back to that wrap-up report. And again, learn from your successes and failures with that so that they can do the same successful things and make sure not to do the things that detracted from your program. If you have a large event, send an evaluation out to the people who attended or to your whole, residence life or something. Find out what people are wanting from programs. If on move-in day, you can have some sort of survey that every resident fills out that just has a list of ideas that, they can submit to you for ideas for what they want to see out of programming. Use those ideas. It makes your programming a lot easier because you don't have to come up with everything yourself. All of those things are all really good things that will help strengthen your programming and make them better in the end. But I think this was really, really successful and really effective. I think we got a lot of really good ideas tonight. As always, if you ever have questions, programming questions, advertising questions, whatever, you can contact me. But really, I'm not programming, to be honest. I hate programming. I really don't like it. Rely on each other. That's why we have the group me. If you're wanting programming ideas, rely on each other. If you're doing a particular type of program that you think other people may have done a similar program to that, stick it in the group me and see if someone has done something similar so that you can talk through it with them and learn from them as well. Go back through these minutes, read through them and pick out the ideas that really stick out to you and bring that back to your exec board. If you're not the main programmer, send these minutes to whoever your programming chair is. All of these ideas are really, really great. And if y'all didn't see it, Jasmine's kind of last advice is don't overthink things because your worst case scenario is never the end of the world. So don't stress too much about it. And that is so, so true. A lot of times as student leaders, we're often our own worst critics. So don't beat yourself up too much over things. All right. So now we're just going to move into open forum. So if you have any questions to ask, anything in general, something that you'd like to say, you can do all of that now. If you'd like to give anyone snaps or a shout out or anything like that, you could do that now. Yeah, Tesla.
Okay, so I have a question, and it has nothing to do with what we talked about tonight. Tomorrow is our first meeting of the semester with RHA. Not my first meeting, but everyone's first meeting. So, in last semester, our vice president graduated, and he's now at UNT. And I have to figure out how we're going to go about getting a new vice president because we're so small and there's only a couple of us. And unless our interest meeting really turns out tomorrow, I don't know how that's gonna happen. And we don't go by Parley Pro. Like I want to this semester. We talked about last semester. I told everyone that I want to talk to everyone about moving into how to do that, so they know how to do that when they go on to other schools. But as of right now, we don't do it, and I don't know how to go about voting for one or me just picking one, which I don't want to do, and how I'm even going to get someone in that position because all my exec board is filled, and I think there's only like one other person who doesn't have an assigned position in RHA. Like I don't have any normal people. So if anybody has any tips or ideas on how to help me, just let me know because I don't know what to do tomorrow.
So if anyone has any advice or tips or anything, you can go ahead and put it next in the chat. Yeah, Connor.
So we recently just had to fill a vacancy in one of our positions as well. Our marketing coordinator. We got to have one of those, right? So what we did is we, in our bylaws and constitution and all that, it said that if Senate is not in session for us, that the executive board can just appoint a member that fits those, obviously, the requirements for the position, and just appointed through a unanimous vote by the executive board. So that's what we did with ours. So we had each executive board come with a person that they felt would be beneficial and, can hold that position and also meets those requirements. And then we had a discussion about it in our training in the spring, and then appointed that person and then moved forward with that process. So that's what we did, but I don't know, depending on, I guess, what your bylaws and constitution all says, I guess you just have to follow some of that, but that's what we did. So.
Thank you, Connor.
Yeah, so do you know if your constitution outlines replacing an exec board member or filling a vacancy or anything?
I don't know, honestly. I asked when we all swapped constitutions and stuff, I didn't. I got in contact with my advisor and I said I would like to read over them because I hadn't before filling this position, and I never got to. So I really don't even know what's in my constitution. That might sound bad of me. I'm sorry, but I don't know. And so, yeah.
I think that's totally fine. And what you may have to do is, if y'all can't find your copy or most updated copy of your constitution or whatever, a big project for you this spring might be, starting a new constitution. In which case you have, the constitutions in the folder to be able to look through and rely on to build yourself a constitution for your organization that's going to fit. You might want to look at other smaller schools because, like you said, you don't have that many members to pull from. Constitutions change depending on your school and depending on your RHA setup. But I definitely think that I guess my advice would be looking to your constitution. If you can't find it, oftentimes that unanimous vote, just making sure that everyone is in consensus of who they would like to fill that position, that usually works.
Thank you, Connor.
Of course. Anything else for open forum? Yeah, Jalen?
Okay, so I'm pretty new to this president position. Our previous president had to step down for reasons outside of school, and I'm just kind of trying to get some insight as to what I need to expect as a possible president of RHA for UL.
So are you going to be the RHA president for the rest of this year? Okay.
Yeah.
What I can do is I can have a chat with you and kind of bring you up to speed on basically what you're expected to do as an RHA president and what your role is with the region. But I guess if anybody has just general tips or advice for someone who's stepping new into the position. So Jalen was the vice president and now he's the acting president for the rest of the year. So if you have any advice for him, you'd like to just shout that out real quick, you can go ahead and put it next in the chat.
Not all at once.
Okay. So yeah, Connor.
I was just gonna say, basically, kind of what we talked about previously throughout the chat. Just, is all your executive board the same though? Okay. So, I mean, you can all just kind of sit around and kind of brainstorm on, I guess, ways to move forward, I guess. I don't know. But being the vice president and all that, you were able to see a lot of the things that were happening within the org. And to be honest, I don't see president as anything different than any other exec position. And I was NCC, moved to VP, and then came to president. So I don't see them as any different besides just being the ultimate face of the organization and someone who everyone complains to. So, I mean, it's not too much different than what you've been doing. So I would just, make sure that you're all on the same page with things, staying focused, organized, and, start things early, things like that. Some of the same stuff we've been talking about in here, but to me, I don't see it as anything different. So I think you'll be good.
All right. So I just want to say thank you to Nick. Oh, Nick, you have a piece of advice? Yep.
I was just gonna say, if you needing, don't be afraid to reach out to Connor or any of us, or just anything you need. Don't be afraid to reach out, and like it might be a little bit overwhelming at first, but it's really. I went from VP to president, not in this like middle of the year like you did, but it's really fun. It's really great. Just enjoy it. Don't get overwhelmed, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
So thank you to Nick for facilitating this chat. And again, for everyone, our next chat is going to be this coming Sunday, the 29th at 8 p.m. It's very important if you are going to Regional Business Conference, because that is going to be the chat where we prep for that conference. So if you're attending that conference, it's going to be very, very imperative that you attend. If not, I'd still like you to attend so that you can see what's going on at Regional Business Conference. But yeah, so thank you all for attending. I will stay on for a little bit if any of y'all would have questions or would like to chat, but we are adjourned. Thank you so much.